What's going on, guys? Just bringing you a quick guide on how to kill General Grador or Bandos very easily. So essentially this guide, I'll credit the guy that found this tile here, and a lot of the gear setup comes from him as well. But I think the claim that this is truly AFK, like you can walk away from your computer, is a little bit generous. You will need to eat occasionally, but as you can see, I'm not sweating. I can like watch YouTube while this is going on. So let me get into the mechanics of how this works and go into the gear setup and some small things you can do to make this even safer that he does mention in his video. And then something that I've thrown in, which is using the Eye of Ayak. You can use its special attack to reduce the magic defense of your target. So if we take a look, well, I need to have the Kodai wand on at the moment. As you can see, I need to heal. This melee is going to come up. Let me explain kind of the tiles and why this tile is important. So as you can see, I'm barraging 3 of these guys. So this is similar to the Kriara AFK method, if you've ever done that, which is much more AFK. That one you actually can walk away for a bit. I wouldn't recommend going to make lunch or anything. You do sometimes have to eat. But this one basically is kind of a version of that. The idea is that if the God Wars bosses ads or mobs are able to be barraged at the same time that it is, you're going to heal a lot more. So you'll see that this mage tile right here, when Grador spawns in, he's going to walk to me, he's going to put his southwest tile right here, which is actually the tile that matters for barraging multiple targets. You'll notice that you can attempt to stack the other mobs around, and if they're not within the range of the southwest, then they don't get that barrage, basically. So if you've ever been confused in God Wars Dungeon and you're like, why is this barrage not, catching everybody? That's why. So yeah, we're using Blood Barrage. And one quick optimization that you can make that you'll see is actually to throw in an Ice Barrage when he spawns. So I'll do that. And if you catch a freeze, then the kill is free, because he'll basically be half health by the time he gets to you. And you don't really have to do anything. So that's always probably worth doing. Always make sure that your saturated heart's up. Taking a look at my gear, we're maximizing range defense without causing our magic to get too low. Let me throw in an Ice Barrage. Alright, it caught. And when that happens, I like to switch to my Ayak and then just spec him out. If you want to really optimize, the perk of the Confliction Gauntlets is it doubles your accuracy roll whenever you miss. So you could wait until you miss before you spec if you really want to optimize. It's not that important though. If you catch a freeze, you're pretty much good. Whenever his mobs are up, I'm always blood barraging, because they're doing damage to me, he's doing damage to me, and there's just a lot of potential to heal right now. You'll notice there is one other thing that I do, and I may not get to do it because my health is sitting pretty low unless I heal up quite a lot. And it looks like I might be able to. But if my health is very high while these guys are both dead, then it makes sense to switch to the Ayak and just do more DPS. Because this is a 3-tick weapon, so you're going to be dealing more damage. You can see I'm getting kind of low. I'm going back to barrage. Sometimes, let me eat. Sometimes he'll just keep ranging you, and that's always very unfortunate when that happens. and this is kind of a scuffed kill, and this will happen from time to time. But I've actually done over 50 KC. Wow, he is really going to town. All right, so when he dies, but you have both of these guys up, you come stand right next to the range, and then just stack them. And when he's down, I think the best thing to do is to pray melee, or to pray range. Sorry, to pray magic, because that's your lowest defense. Now, when he's up, his melee attack can hit 60s. So even though your melee is very high, your melee defense in this gear setup, which we'll get into, it's still not worth the chance of taking a 60. That can KO you in most circumstances. So you kind of have to pray to pray melee. So I'm going to run over here and just pick up food, and the beautiful part about this method is it's really infinite sustain. You may get unlucky, like you saw, that was a pretty bad kill there. But look at this, I have 11 chili potatoes on the floor. I think I've killed the boss maybe, I don't know, like 3 times before this video started. So very powerful with supply drops. It's all about just supply management, and that's why it's extremely important to start a private instance if you're doing this method. You want these items to stay on the ground for when you need them. And the reason that this is infinite sustain is basically because the supply drops are going to come in faster than you'll need them, essentially. So I caught a freeze, that's fantastic. Let's drop an IX spec, just because. Cool, we got it. And since we're full health and we would just be blood barraging him alone, I'm going to stick to the IAC until he comes over here. Alright, he's approached, these guys are up, so let's switch back into the blood barrage. And you can see, when these guys are up, that is kind of your healing phase. That's when you're going to get the most heals out. So you're pretty safe, actually, when both of these guys are here, as long as you're on this tile. It's actually better for these guys to be up than it is for them to be down. So whenever these guys go down, I'm pretty high health. I'm going to switch to my IAC for more DPS to just kill the boss faster. If I start getting low, you may want to switch back into Blood Barrage just on Gerardor himself, just to make sure that you will occasionally get a heal off of him. So this guy can also drop sharks. When he drops sharks, you should either keep them in your inventory. I always swap out the chili potatoes for them because they heal more. Or you can juggle them on the floor, like in the tiles next to you is what I like to do. I like to put extra restores in one tile. I'll put extra sharks in one tile, and I'll put extra potatoes in another tile. So actually, let me show you an example of that. I thought that we had some potatoes on the ground. No, I guess I picked them all up. Oh, turn off your prayer when he's dead, just to stay longer. You don't have to. Oh yeah, there's 10 right there. Okay, so I haven't necessarily figured this out. I think that there's a chance that when you drop items in an instance, they don't last as long as items that just fell to the floor from the boss. I feel like I've seen things disappear after a very long time of staying here, so you may not want to do this. But honestly, they do stay around for a very long time. I'm talking like 30 minutes or something. You'll notice they don't have the timer up like these do. But it's certainly longer than normal if you dropped it in the open world. It's not like 1 minute. So you can organize and try to juggle. So you can see I missed the freeze on that one. I actually had the IAC out. When you have the IAC out, you're less likely to hit. You're missing all the stats of the wand here. So just keep that in mind. You should start with your Kodai wand. It may actually be better, I don't know because I don't have one and I haven't been able to test it, to use the Blood Ancient Scepter, because that gives you an overheal, but the difference is it does 10% extra magic damage while the Kodai wand does 15. So I'm not sure. It's kind of like a seesaw that you have to balance. Is doing more damage in general, thus healing more better, or is the overheal plus the 10% damage better? Not really sure. I think it's kind of splitting hairs. This method seems to work. If you have a Blood Ancient Scepter, I'm sure that would work too. It seems like it might be comparable. But you can see, this is really, really chill. I can sit here and get so many Bandos KC without using my brain at all. Once again, when these guys are dead, I stand next to the range and barrage. You can get fancy if you're really low. You could throw a freeze out on these guys, step a tile back, and then barrage, blood barrage. But honestly, you don't really need to. You also don't really have to worry about switching to Pray Magic afterwards. It's really, really forgiving, and that's the reason this method can be done consistently for a long time. I know that there's better methods, right? I know that you can freeze and run around the room with Tunic and Shadow and do this and that, but to be honest with you, I'm not doing that for 100 hours, you know? I'm not doing this for 100 hours. I wouldn't do that for 10 hours, right? It's just too much thinking, too much work. This is a really simple, sustainable way to kill Bandos, and I think it's not necessarily AFK, but it's extremely low effort. So that's just basically what I wanted to share. You can see what the inventory setup. If you don't know some of these items, we have the Kodai Wand, the Eye of Ayak, Saturated Heart. You'll always want this up. If you didn't know, increasing your magic level increases your magic defense. It's very important. And then some super defense. I like to keep this at least plus 10. I don't really have necessarily a rule. And then let me. Oh, I think I missed the freeze on that. That's fine. You miss it most of the time anyway, so no big deal. You do want to make sure you're praying when he spawns. Some super defense, some prayer regens for more sustain. Actually, I didn't need to really drink up prayer potion. As you can see, the altar is ready. My timers went off on that. So I could have just went to the altar there. So I'll get that next kill if I can remember. And then just a little bit of emergency food when you first come in. One note, when you first run in the room, this is the hardest part about setting it up, and I wish I could show you. It's never pretty when I do it. I haven't got it down to an exact science. If you know how it works with his southwest tile, and you should have this on. I think you should just have this on in your NPC indicators anyway. But you want these guys adjacent to his southwest tile. If this guy was over here, he would not be getting barraged right now. So basically, when you run in, he's going to walk towards you diagonal, and that's kind of going to mess everything up. So when that happens, I try to walk him like 4 tiles to the north here, and then set him up and just kind of walk around, dance around until I can get at least 1, but hopefully 2, the range and the mage adds around his southwest tile so that I can barrage all 3. Like I said, I don't have exact setup for that. You just need to kind of brute force through the first kill. It'll be a little sloppy. That's why I bring 4 anglerfish for the first kill in case I do need to eat. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But, you know, basically just get through that. I also use my IAC specs on the first kill just to try to kill the boss faster. But yeah, that's essentially it. As for the gear, you can see Justy Helm. I have the Torva plate body. Bandos plate body works as well. I think it's like Bandos is like minus 15 mage and plus a lot of like range defense, and that's what you really want is a bunch of range defense. This is minus 18 mage and plus even more, like over 15 more range defense. So this is actually a better item. That is one difference from the guy that found this tile, which I'll credit in the description. I don't remember his name. You can see I got some restore drops. That is a very good drop. That just means I can stay even longer. And essentially, I've never been in the situation where I I've had to leave early. It's usually that I was not paying attention after hours of sitting here and just died, right? And I've gotten drops that have absolutely covered that death cost and supply cost tenfold. I don't know if, that's on rate. I'm really here for kill counts. I'm here for the CAs. I'm here for the pet, that kind of thing. I'm not really that worried about making money doing this. So this is more of like a pet hunter's guide. But this could be profitable. You'll have to do some calculations for yourself. But yeah, basically no thought involved. I hope this makes sense. And I also want to show you, because I know so many people are going to ask, recolor. Okay, yes. The plugin to make the ground not blind you is called World Recolor. And the way that you do it is you come in here. It says menu option for keybind control, so I hold control, right click, World Recolor, and then I add to included regions, and then you can set what color you want, and that just makes the snow a little less ridiculous. Cool. Let me know if there's any questions. I feel like this is kind of a slept-on method. I'm always looking for things where I can play the game really easily while I'm chilling out and stuff like that. So, this might be useful to you guys. I'm just trying to signal boost. Obviously, I didn't make up everything here. It's just a slight modification in terms of the gear, and the IAC switch, I think, is well worth. But yeah, let me know if you guys have questions. Happy to help out or answer any questions you guys might have. Cheers. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.